shall do certain MCQs on organic evolution. Here is the first question. I shall read out the question for you. Francisco Redi disproved the theory of A. Chemical evolution of life, B. Spontaneous origin of life, C. Catastrophism, D. Recapitulation. The spontaneous evolution of life or origin of life is also called abiogenesis. It was put forth by Aristotle, supported by von Helmont, Anaximander, Anaxagoras, Plato, Thales, etc. And according to them, life has evolved from non-living things. But the spontaneous origin of life, for the first time, it was contradicted by Francisco Redi by conducting experiment on spoiled fish by keeping them in 3 jars. And Francisco Redi has put forth a hypothesis called theory of biogenesis, and it was supported by Louis Pasteur and Abbe Spallanzani. So for the first question, Francisco Redi disproved the theory of B. Spontaneous origin of life. Now the second question is, age of Earth is about 4.5 to 5.5 million years, 45 million years, 4.5 to 5 billion years, 45 to 55 billion years. Earth appeared somewhere about 4.5 to 5 billion years ago. So second question answer is C, and you already learnt in origin of life by Oparin and Haldane, that concept here now. Now second question answer is C, that is 4.5 to 5 billion years ago formation of Earth took place. Now question number 3, Oparin and Haldane's theory of chemical evolution of life was experimentally supported by A. Landsteiner and Weiner, B. Hardy and Weinberg, C. Oparin and Sidney Fox, D. Miller and Urey. Oparin and Haldane's hypothesis was experimentally proved by Miller and Urey in their spark discharge equipment by providing the chemicals like methane, ammonia, hydrogen, water by exposing them to high electric discharge and superheated steam. Okay, so for third question, correct answer is D. Now fourth question is here. Origin of life on Earth today is prevented due to A. presence of living beings, B. availability of free oxygen, C. non-availability of simple organic molecules, D. presence of UV radiation. When Earth appeared, the entire Earth was reducing in a medium. Because of reducing nature, several organisms evolved one after the other. And once these multicellular heterotrophs evolved on Earth's surface, now oxygen was liberated abundantly into the atmosphere. Entire atmosphere became oxidizing. As a result, the origin of life did not occur on a large scale after the evolution of heterotrophs. And nowadays also, there are not much evolutionary changes in the organisms because of oxidizing nature of the environment. So fourth question answer is B. availability of free oxygen. Now fifth question here now. The cells that first originated are A. heterotrophs, B. autotrophs, C. eukaryotes, D. aerobics. Here first cell, the cells first evolved were anaerobic heterotrophs. Virus like anaerobic heterotrophs evolved for the first time, and they grew at the expense of organic matter present in the seawater. So fifth question answer is A. Now sixth question, the first photosynthetic organisms on Earth are A. purple and green sulfur bacteria, B. algae, C. euglena, D. plants. During evolution, course of evolution, first anaerobic heterotrophs were formed. These anaerobic heterotrophs synthesized food by fermentation process utilizing the organic matter present in seawater. When the organic matter started dwindling here now, they acquired carbohydrate synthesizing enzymes and transformed into certain archaebacteria like iron and sulfur bacteria. These archaebacteria had the ability to grow even at more than 100 degrees centigrade, and slowly these archaebacteria have absorbed metalloporphyrin from the seawater and thereby synthesized to chlorophyll, bacteria like chlorophyll, and in turn they gave rise to cyanobacteria like purple and green sulfur bacteria. Then later on these cyanobacteria gave rise to protistans, protistans gave rise to multicellular autotrophs, multicellular autotrophs gave rise to heterotrophs. So first photosynthetic organisms on Earth were A. Purple and green sulfur bacteria. So, sixth question, correct answer is A. Now, seventh question is here. Atmosphere of primordial earth lacked A. ammonia, B. hydrogen, C. methane, D. oxygen and ozone. During the formation of earth, the entire environment was reducing because of abundance of hydrogen, and UV radiation was also abundantly present because there was no oxygen and there was no O2. So, both O2 and O3 were absent in the primordial earth. So, seventh question, correct answer is D. Eighth question, Father Surge believed in A. theory of special creation, B. theory of panspermia, C. theory of catastrophism, D. theory of organic evolution. Father Surge believed in theory of special creation. According to him, the entire universe was created by the Almighty in 6 days, and seventh day he took rest. So, the theory of special creation was put forth by Father Surge. So, eighth question, correct answer is A. Now, ninth question, theory of catastrophism was advocated by A. Spallanzani, B. Father Surge, C. Cuvier, D. Lamarck. Theory of catastrophism was proposed by George Cuvier or Cuvier, who is also considered as father of paleontology, father of modern paleontology and comparative anatomy. So, according to him, the entire whenever there is a population explosion, the entire earth will be marooned by different kinds of catastrophes and calamities. Later on, once again, there will be recreation. There will be evolution of organisms because of migration from one sphere to another sphere. So, theory of catastrophism was advocated by Cuvier. So, for ninth question, correct answer is C. Now, 10th question, gases used by Miller for synthesis of amino acids through heat and electric discharges are A. water vapor, methane, ammonia, nitrogen, D. carbon dioxide, ammonia, methane, water vapor, C. ammonia, carbon dioxide, oxygen and water vapor, D. methane, ammonia, hydrogen and water vapor. So, he used a mixture of methane, that is CH4, ammonia NH3, water H2O and hydrogen H2 in his spark discharge equipment to prove origin of life proposed by Oparin and Haldane. So, he used methane, ammonia, hydrogen, water vapor for his experimental purpose. So, 10th question, correct answer is D. Now, 11th question, species originated discontinuously without intermediate forms according to A. Lamarck, B. De Vries, C. Darwin, D. Haeckel. According to Hugo de Vries now, the species evolved suddenly because of large variations now, and he called those large variations mutations, but according to Charles Darwin, they were formed due to accumulation of small fluctuating variations. So, as per this question, species originate discontinuously without intermediate forms according to Hugo de Vries. So, the correct answer is Hugo de Vries. The other options given are A. Lamarck, B. de Vries, C. Darwin, D. Haeckel. So, 11th question, correct answer is B. de Vries. 11th question, correct answer is B. de Vries. Now, 12th question, modification of Darwin's theory is A. recapitulation theory, B. mutation theory, C. coeservate theory, D. modern synthetic theory of evolution. Darwin's theory was modified and all the merits of the Darwin's theory were taken into account in the synthetic theory of evolution, and this was proposed by Simpson, Haeckel and Huxley. So, the Darwin's theory was supported and modified by modern synthetic theory of evolution. So, 12th question, correct answer is D. Now, 13th question, germplasm theory was proposed by A. Haeckel, B. Weismann, C. Huxley, D. Lamarck. Now, to disprove Lamarckian inheritance of acquired characters, August Weismann has conducted experiments on rats now, which is also called decartilization experiment. He has cut the tail of rats for 21 consecutive generations, and every generation he crossed the tailless rats. When tailless rats were crossed, they gave birth to tail rats. On the basis of this, he has put forth a hypothesis called germplasm theory, That is, according to him, the changes that occur in germplasm are heritable. The changes that occur in somatoplasm are non-heritable. So, Lamarckian inheritance of acquired characters was strongly contradicted by Weismann in his germplasm theory. So, 13th question, correct answer is B. Now, 14th question, book written by Charles Darwin is A. Philosophy Zoologique, B. Systema Naturae, C. Historia Animalium, D. Origin of Species by Natural Selection. Charles Darwin has written a book called Origin of Species by Natural Selection. Like Philosophy Zoologique was written by Lamarck, Systema Naturae was written by Linnaeus, Historia Animalium was written by John Ray. So, for the 14th question, correct answer is D. Origin of Species by Natural Selection. Now, 15th question, theory of evolution proposed by Charles Darwin is A. Natural selection theory, B. Recapitulation theory, C. Germplasm theory, D. Mutation theory. Charles Darwin has proposed a theory called natural selection, origin of species by natural selection. In that, he has mentioned certain postulates like number 1, prodigality or overproduction, number 2, constancy of the population, number 3, struggle for existence, number 4, variations, number 5, origin of species, number 6, natural selection. So, this theory of evolution proposed by Charles Darwin is natural selection theory. So, 15th question, correct answer is A. Now, 16th question, De Vries proposed A. Natural selection theory, B. Recapitulation theory, C. Germplasm theory, D. Mutation theory. Mutation theory was proposed by Hugo De Vries. Now, he conducted experiments on evening primrose called Enothera lamarckiana. When he grew them in his own garden at Amsterdam, apart from the parent variety, he found some new varieties. He called the new varieties mutant varieties, namely Enothera nanella, Enothera zygas, Enothera livifolia, Enothera brevistylis. On the basis of this experimental work, he has put forth certain postulates which are put together called mutational postulates. And now, like sudden large variations are called mutations. They are discontinuous, they are not cumulative, they may be useful or harmful, they are subjected to natural selection. Okay, they occur during gametogenesis. Like that, he has put forth certain postulates. So, all of them put together called theory of mutations. So, for 16th question, correct answer is D, mutation theory. Now, 17th question here now, which of the following is not a principle of Lamarckism? A. Use and disuse, B. Survival of the fittest, C. Influence of environment, D. Inheritance of acquired characters. Now, survival of the fittest was not put forth by Lamarck, it was put forth by Charles Darwin. In fact, Charles Darwin called it natural selection. The same concept of natural selection was called survival of the fittest by Herbert Spencer. So, survival of the fittest was proposed by Herbert Spencer in support of Darwin. So, 17th question, correct answer is B. Now, 18th question, natural selection favors organisms with A. Differential reproductive success, B. Differential mortality success, C. Assortative mating, D. Reduced gene pool. According to Charles Darwin, the natural selection always favors the organisms with small variations, useful variations, animals with having differential reproductive success. So, 18th question, correct answer is A. 19th question is here. Changes that adapt the population to its new environment are due to A. Genetic drift, B. Natural selection, C. Mutations, D. Hardy-Weinberg. According to Charles Darwin, changes that occur in the organism enable the organism to adapt themselves to the new conditions are because of natural selection. When there is influence of natural selection here now, organisms keep on changing their morphological characteristics so that they have better survival chances in a particular habitat. So, 19th question, correct answer is B. Natural selection. Now, 20th question here now, match the following is given. Now, you have number 1, theory of natural selection, number 2, theory of chemical origin of life, number 3, mutation theory, number 4, germplasm theory. Against that, you have A. Oparin, B. De Vries, C. Weismann, D. Darwin. Now, try to find out the correct matching here now. Under 1, theory of natural selection is given. Theory of natural selection was proposed by Charles Darwin. So, it is given under D. D. Number two, chemical origin of life is given. Chemical origin of life was proposed by Oparin and Haldane. We look for the correct answer. Oparin is given. So here correct option is A. Now under 3, mutation theory is given. Mutation theory was proposed by Hugo de Vries. So we'll search for the correct answer. Hugo de Vries is given under B. So B is the correct answer for this. Now under 4, germplasm theory is given. Germplasm theory was proposed by Weizmann. Weizmann is given under C. So this is the correct answer. Now you have 1D, 2A, 3B, 4C is the answer. So among these options, if you see, okay, D, A, B, C is the correct answer. So for 20th question, correct answer is C. Now 21st question here now. Natural selection results in A, inheritance of acquired characters, B, survival of the fittest, C, genetic drift, D, Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium. Natural selection always results in survival of the fittest. Because of influence of nature, the organisms develop small variations, useful variations. They develop high reproductive success. Then they have got highest rate of reproduction here now. So that will be the most fit in the nature. Then animals with all these characters, without these characters, are the least fit, and they are the first one to be discarded from the nature. So 21st question, correct answer is B, survival of the fittest. Now 22nd question, survival of the fittest was explained in this book. A, Systema Naturae, B, Philosophy Zoologic, C, Origin of Species by Natural Selection, D, Historia Animalium. Survival of the fittest, it was explained in detail by Charles Darwin in his book called Origin of Species by Natural Selection. For 22nd question, correct answer is C. 23 question here now. I shall read out the question for you. Theory of population growth that formed basis for Darwin's natural selection theory was proposed by A, T.R. Malthus, B, T.H. Morgan, C, T.H. Huxley, D, H.J. Muller. Now the three theories inspired Darwin in conceiving the idea of natural selection. One is the principles of population or theory on population. Number 2, principles of geology. And number 3, tendency of varieties to depart from original types. The tendency of varieties to depart from original types was put forth by Alfred Russel Wallace. Principles of geology was put forth by Charles Lyell. And the theory on population was put forth by T.R. Malthus. So all three of them inspired Darwin in conceiving the idea of natural selection. So 23rd answer, correct, 23rd question, correct answer is A. Now here is 24th question. Darwinism does not explain A, survival of the fittest, B, struggle for existence, C, arrival of the fittest, D, origin of species. One of the major drawbacks of Darwinism is Darwin has explained only about survival of the fittest but not arrival of the fittest. That he has explained only about progressive improvement of variation and how best the variations are useful to the animals in tiding over the unfavorable conditions, but he has failed to explain about the origin of variations. That origin of variations is referred to as arrival of the fittest. So 24th question, correct answer is C. Now 25th question, according to de Vries, mutations are A, discontinuous variations, B, continuous variations, C, non-heritable variations, D, somatic variations. Now these discontinuous variations were called saltations or sports by Charles Darwin. He did not give much importance to discontinuous variations, and de Vries called those discontinuous sudden large variations as mutations. So 25th question, correct answer is A. Now 26th question, book published by Lamarck is A, Origin of Species, B, Systema Naturae, C, Historia Animalium, D, Philosophy Zoologic. Philosophy Zoologic was written by Lamarck to explain the theory of evolution here now. So 26th question, correct answer is D. Now 27th question, the term organic evolution was coined by A, Charles Darwin, B, Herbert Spencer, C, Oparin, D, Lamarck. The term evolution was proposed by Herbert Spencer. It implies that rolling out process. E means out, valvo means rolling out. Since evolution is a ceaseless process, a continuous process, Herbert Spencer called it evolution. The literal meaning of evolution is E means out, valvo means rolling, that is rolling out process. So 27th question, correct answer is B, Herbert Spencer. Now 28th question, Darwin explained A, overspecialization of organs, B, macro variations, C, survival of organism with adaptive variations, D, vestigial organs. Darwin has explained only about survival of organisms with adaptive variations. He has failed to explain about overspecialization of organs, B, macro variation, that is large variations, D, vestigial organs. So all the three of them, as a matter of fact, are the demerits of Darwinism. So he has explained only about survival of the organisms. So 28th question, correct answer is C. Now 29th question, according to mutation theory, intermediate stages in evolution of new species, A, explain sudden formation of organisms, B, explain gradual formation of organisms, C, explain biogenesis of organisms, D, do not occur in the nature. According to Hugo de Vries, intermediate forms do not exist because evolution of an organism occurs suddenly by the formation of sudden large variations. So according to Darwin, intermediate forms exist because there are they evolve because of evolution of small fluctuating variations, but according to Hugo de Vries, they occur due to piling up of large variations. So a 29th question, correct answer is D, they do not occur in the nature. Now 30th question, study the following about Neo-Lamarckianism. Number 1, they considered that adaptations are universal. Number 2, they argued that somatic cells produces specific secretions by the effect of external conditions. Number 3, they explained that variations caused in somatic cells are carried to the sex cells through secretions. Number 4, they observed the development of normal eyes and color of skin in the Proteus anguiens on its exposure to light. Now, options are A, all, B, all except 3, C, only 1 and 2, D, only 3 and 4. Now, some of the scientists like Packard, Osborn, Cope, Kammerer, Sumner, Herbert Spencer, all of them supported Lamarckism and they are referred to as Neo-Lamarckists. According to them, there are two types of cells in the organism, somatic cells and germ cells. As the endocrine glands of the testis influence somatic organs, in the same way, if any change is brought about in the somatic cells, that changes or the change is transferred to the germ cells through secretions, and from germ cells they are transmitted to the next progeny. So according to them, not only variations that occur in germ plasm, the variations that occur in somatoplasm are also heritable. As the endocrine glands of testis influence somatic organs and somatic endocrine glands influence the germ cells, vice versa. In the same way, variations also crop up due to influence of external factors on both somatic cells and germ cells. So 30th question, all the statements given under this are correct. They refer to Neo-Lamarckism. So 30th question, correct answer is A. 31st is here. First scientific view about organic evolution, starting the importance of adaptation of animals under the influence of environment, was given by A. Lamarck, B. Haeckel, C. Darwin, D. Aristotle. The first scientific view of organic evolution, importance of adaptations of animals under the influence of environment, it was given by Lamarck, Jean-Baptiste Lamarck, in his theory called inheritance of acquired characters. So 31st question, correct answer is A. Now 32nd question, one of the following focuses on one trait of an organism rather than overall fitness of an organism. One of the following focuses on one trait of organism rather than overall fitness of the organism. A. Sexual selection, B. Artificial selection, C. Natural selection, D. Isolation. Now according to sexual selection always the female has the ability to select males. The females select males which are having attractive, distinctive secondary sexual characteristics. So it focuses only on one characteristic feature. So 32nd question, correct answer is A. Sexual selection. Even sexual selection was also proposed by Charles Darwin. Now 33 question, Origin of Species was first published in A. 1885, B 1859, C 1858, D 1869. It was first published in 1858. Later on, once again, it was repeated in 1859. So 33 question, correct answer is C. Now 34th question here now. Find out the incorrect regarding mutations. A. Random, occur in any direction. B. Full-fledged, so there are no intermediate forms. C. Discontinuous, cumulated over generations. D. Subjected to natural selection here now. The mutations are not discontinuous and they are not cumulative, that is they are not go on piling up here now. They occur all of a sudden, and sudden large variations are called mutations. They are always full-fledged without any intermediate forms. They occur in any direction and they are all subjected to natural selection. So 34th question, the wrong statement regarding mutations is C. Now 35, study the following about population here now. A. Change in allelic frequencies cause the change in genotype frequencies. Number 2, in Hardy-Weinberg population, genotype frequencies are in predictable way to the allelic frequencies. Number 3, genotype frequencies can be changed without any change in allelic frequency. The correct ones of the above are, all of them are correct here now, all of them represent the Hardy-Weinberg law. So A all, B 1 and 2, C 1 and 3, D 2 and 3. So correct answer for 35th question is A. All the statements are correct. Now 36th here now. Study the following statements about microspheres. Number 1, in hot dilute soup they were formed when organic molecules were mixed with cold water. Number 2, they were membrane bound. Number 3, they self multiplied by budding. A 1 and 2 only, B 1 and 3 only, C 2 and 3 only, D 1, 2, 3 only. Now here these suspensions of organic compounds in the seawater, they were called coacervates by Oparin, and Sidney Fox called them microspheres. So the statements given under 36 are referring to microspheres now as proposed by Sidney Fox. So 36th question, correct answer is D. The 37th question, evolution is the descent with modification. A. Theodor Dobzhansky, B. Herbert Spencer, C. Gregor John Mendel, D. Charles Darwin. Charles Darwin defined evolution as descent with modification. That is, all the organisms present on the Earth's surface now are the modified descendants of their ancestors. So this concept was given by father of evolution, that is Charles Darwin. So 37th question, correct answer is D. Charles Darwin. Now 38th question, the external conditions affecting the somatic cells stimulate the body cells to produce specific secretions was mainly explained by A. Lamarckism, B. Neo-Lamarckism, C. Darwinism, D. Neo-Darwinism. This concept was explained by Neo-Lamarckism. Just now I made a mention here now. According to them, due to influence of environment here now, somatic cells undergo changes. They secrete certain chemicals or secretions. Those secretions through germ cells are transmitted to the progeny. That is, not only the mutation, the changes that occur in germ cells, changes that occur in somatic cells are also heritable according to Neo-Lamarckis. So 38th question, correct answer is B. Now 39th question, the correct chronological sequence of eras is, the correct chronological sequence of eras is, 39 question, the options are read out now. A. Mesozoic, Cenozoic, Archaeozoic, B. Cenozoic, Proterozoic, Mesozoic, C. Paleozoic, Mesozoic, Cenozoic, D. Paleozoic, Archaeozoic, Cenozoic. Now the ancestry of animals was divided into 3 eras now, the most important eras, 3 eras. Under each era there are several periods now. Now to start with here now, you have Paleozoic, afterwards Mesozoic, then afterwards Cenozoic. So 39th question, correct answer is C. Now 40th question here now. In a population of 1600 guinea pigs in Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium, 256 are white recessive. If there are only 2 alleles for the concerned gene, the frequency of heterozygous black individuals in that population is A. 0.24, B. 0.48, C. 0.50, D. 0.36. Now here in this numerical, it is a numerical about Hardy-Weinberg here now. He says there are 1600 guinea pigs here now. 1600 guinea pigs in a population, and 256 are white recessive, that is 256 of them are homozygous recessive, that is q square is equal to 256. And if there are only two alleles for the concerned gene here now, the frequency of heterozygous black individuals. Now he is talking about 256 here now, q square. Now 256 by 1600 will give you q square value. That is homozygous recessive animals are 256. When you multiply by 256 by 1600, you will get the q square value here now. Now after getting the q square value, square root of q square will give you q value. Square root of q square will give you q value. So that then later on when the q is known, you substitute this in p plus q is equal to 1. You substitute this value in p plus q is equal to 1. Then you get p value here. You get p value. Then later on, okay, substitute this in p square plus 2pq plus q square is equal to 1. P square is equal to genotype frequency of homozygous dominant. 2pq is equal to genotype frequency of heterozygous dominant. Q square is equal to genotype frequency of homozygous recessive. Now in the numerical here now, when you substitute the values in this particular form in the same method here now, you will get the answer. Now in the numerical, if there are only two alleles for the concerned gene here now, the frequency of heterozygous black individuals in their population, you get 0.48. The answer will be 0.48. So for the 40 question, the answer is B, 0.48. Now 41 is here. Which of the following is not a condition for Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium? A. Large size population. B. No change in mutation rate. C. No large scale migration. D. Non-random mating. Now according to Hardy-Weinberg now, the population should be large, number 1. Number 2, there should be random mating. The random mating is also called panmictic mating. Number 3, there should not be any influence of any elemental force of evolution like migration, natural selection, mutation and all. When all these conditions are fulfilled here now, their allelic frequencies and genotype frequencies remain constant, and that is mathematically explained as p square plus 2pq plus q square is equal to 1. So 41st question here now, among these options here now, D is the wrong option. That is, the correct answer is D. For 41st question, D is the correct answer, because according to Hardy-Weinberg, there should be random mating here now. Random mating only always helps in maintaining allelic frequencies and genotype frequencies, but here he says non-random mating here now. So correct answer is 41 question D. Now 42, Charles Darwin travelled by a ship named A. Titanic, B. Finch, C. Beagle, D. Galapagos. Now all of them, Charles Darwin along with some other scientists now, they travelled on a ship called HMS Beagle, and they visited Galapagos Islands and studied about the morphological characteristics of the birds called finches. So 42nd question, correct answer is C. Beagle. Now 43rd question, a population of 2500 guinea pigs here now in Hardy-Weinberg 225 white recessive individuals, if there are only two alleles for the trait. Now 43 question, he says, now in this numerical here now, the total population is 2500 guinea pigs are there. Now in that he says 225 are homozygous recessive, homozygous recessive, okay, that is white color, or about how many are given? 225. Now in this homozygous recessive means implies q square. So q square value you will get by dividing 225 by 2500. So you get the q square value when you multiply 225 by 2500 here now. Then after obtaining q square, you take square root of q square will give you q value. When after getting Q value you substitute in P plus Q is equal to 1. So you get even P value also. After getting P value, you substitute the values in P square plus 2PQ plus Q square is equal to 1. That is, you get the genotype frequency of homozygous dominant, that is P square, genotype frequency of heterozygous dominant, that is 2PQ, genotype frequency of homozygous recessive, that is Q square here now. All these values you get. Now in the numerical is asking total number of heterozygous black individuals. Now genotype frequency you get some value here now. So genotype frequency of heterozygous individuals you get some value here now. Okay, then if genotype frequency is this much, then for total population how many will be there? That is 2500. How many will be there? That is 2500 into the value which you get here will give you the total number of heterozygous black individuals. So when you calculate like this, you get the answer, that is 1050. So the correct answer for 43 question is A. Now here is 44th question here now. I shall read out the question. In a population of 1600 rabbits in Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium, 256 have short ears, that is recessive. If there are only 2 alleles per the trait, what is the number of heterozygous long-eared forms in that population? A 1344, B 768, C 576, D 800. Now in this he says total population is 1600. In that short-eared are 256, homozygous short-eared are 256, that is, this will be Q square. Now you have to first find out the Q square value. Q square is the genotype frequency. Q square is equal to 256 by 1600. That will give you about say 0.16. 0.16 is the Q square value. Now square root of Q square is equal to Q. That is, you get about 0.4. Now when Q is known, P will be known by substituting in P plus Q is equal to 1. That is, P value is 0.6. P value will be in 0.6. Now substitute these values, that is, P is allelic frequency of homozygous dominant long-eared 0.6, allelic frequency of homozygous short-eared, that is, Q value is 0.4. Now substitute in P square plus 2PQ plus Q square is equal to 1. So how much is the P value? 0.4, 0.6. P value is 0.6 square plus 2 into 0.6 into 0.4 plus 0.4 square. Now if you simplify this, 0.36 plus 0.48 plus 0.16 is equivalent to 1. Genotype frequency of homozygous dominant is 0.36. Genotype frequency of heterozygous dominant is 0.48. Genotype frequency of homozygous recessive is 0.16. Now in the numerical is asking about total number of heterozygous long-eared. So for one animal, if the genotype frequency for heterozygous long-eared is 0.48, 1600, how many will be there? That is 1600 into 0.48, that will give you a value of 768. It will give you a value of 768. So the correct answer for this 44th question is B. Now you have here 45th question. The totality of all the genes in a population is termed as A genotype, B phenotype, C multiple alleles, D gene pool. The total number of genes in a particular population is called gene pool. Okay. So for 45th question, that is 45th question, correct answer is D.